So we've covered 4 of our 5 things that you can and should be doing with AI right now. And in this video, we're going to cover a bonus module that's going to help create the setup for our 5th thing that you can and should be doing with AI right now. So let's talk about that bonus module and create the setup for that conversation for the 5th module. On the screen right now, you can see Fireflies. Fireflies is a meeting transcription platform that uses AI to listen to a conversation and then transcribe it, summarize it, and provide some additional insights. Now, I want to be real clear about this. This device or platform, however you want to term it, is listening in on a conversation. There's going to be times where that's appropriate and times where it's not. If you're just doing a general meeting and you want to free up everybody's brain power to focus all of their creative energy on a meeting, as long as there's no proprietary secrets in there, this is a great way to capture meetings without assigning someone to do that. And if you have 10 people in the room and one person is taking notes for the meeting, that person is not bringing their full brain and creative ideas to the meeting. So you really have 9 brains plus whatever fraction of that person's brain that they can allocate to the meeting while they're taking notes. And let's be honest too, when it comes down to it, humans summarize and do shorthand for meetings because there's no way to keep up with the speed of the conversation. And so with that in mind, an AI note taker can really be a benefit. Now with that consideration, you have to think about what are you discussing in the meeting. If you're discussing trade secrets, you certainly want to make sure that your privacy policies with your organization align with the privacy policies of the note taker that you select, or you just need to keep that out of a note taker altogether. Also, too, sensitive meetings, if you're having a note taker take those notes, then that can certainly make people feel uncomfortable. And you certainly want to disclose it when you're going to record a meeting. And I would encourage you to disclose it in a way that makes people have an opportunity to opt out. So what does that look like? Well, if you're going to meet with someone for a one-to-one, or you're going to meet in a small group on a Zoom call or in person, you may say something like, hey, would you mind if I use my AI note taker to record our meeting? Now, with that in mind, I'm using Fred, and Fred listens in on our conversation and is going to take an entire transcript of our meeting and also create a summary. And I want to let you know that if we can record it, I will share everything with you. But by the same time, by the same token, I don't want to allocate my attention to taking notes. I want it to be completely focused on our conversation so I can be completely present with you during our time together. And so that lets the person know that you value their time and their energies, and also too that note taking you see as a potential distraction that might take away your attention from the conversation. And then give them an opportunity to opt out. So you could say something like, hey, at the same time, if you don't feel comfortable with having the AI note taker in the room, I totally get it. We can put that aside. Just know that if I'm looking down during our conversation, that's because I'm taking notes. I'm not looking at other devices. I'm just making sure that I capture the high points of our conversation so I have it for record keeping purposes. So that's probably a better practice to share that information up front. It's a best practice to share it up front, but it's a better practice to share it in a way that allows people to opt out. So let's visit with Fred real quick and talk about what Fred can do for you. So this is the exact transcript and summary of our previous bonus module on creating marketing plans and brand voice. As you can see here on the screen, in the central portion of the screen, this is the summary that was created by Fred. And so Fred created an overview of the conversation, kind of a basic summary, and then provided specific notes in a summarized bullet pointed fashion with timestamps, which is really cool, so you can refer back to it. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can see the entire transcript and also timestamped as well. And if you go down the bottom, you can actually play the audio version of the conversation from our bonus module number 1 of the bonus section. Up here, you can save this if you want, or copy it, I mean. You can send it to someone, and you can ask it to regenerate if you're not happy with the summary. It also puts tags on the summary, so if you want to search for it, you might be inside of Fred, and you can type in email, and it will look for things based on discussion of email, and in this instance, email efficiency. So over here on the left side, you have some specific things that were discussed, like sentiments. So it identified that of this conversation that 55% of the conversation was neutral, 41% was labeled as positive, and 4% was labeled as negative. Now, a few key considerations about sentiments in these AI note takers. First and foremost, it was just me on the call during this bonus segment. And so I would expect it to have a high portion of neutral because I was explaining information. Pleased to see that it perceived that at least a good portion of the conversation was positive. And I'd be curious to know how it labeled the 4% that was negative. So here's some of our considerations with sentiments. Different cultures respond to conversations differently. So some cultures have more muted conversational styles. Some have more gregarious or outgoing communication styles. So I don't know that these AI note takers are that good yet to be able to fairly balance their sentiment labeling based on cultures. So just a key point there to consider when you're looking at the sentiments. Now, down here at the bottom, you can see speaker talk time was 100%, and I averaged about 188 words per minute. If you type 50 to 60 words per minute and you talk about 100 and let's say 50 or 180 words a minute, you are at least doubling your ability to enter information into these different programs. So whether you are doing a Google Doc, whether you're sending an email, whatever written communication you're doing, if you are speaking it into the system, you are able to speed up your execution time by at least 2. And in this instance, I'm a slow typer, so it's at least 3+ for me. I'm about a 50 word a minute typer, so we're looking at 3+ as far as the speed up effect there. So with that said, for the purposes of Made for TB, I've actually copied this summary. Now, before I show you what we're going to do with this summary to show a multi-platform approach to AI, so that you can be thinking about how you can integrate AI into multiple points along your workflows, let's go and take a quick look at other things that Fred can do for us. So the reason why I chose Fred is not because I'm affiliated with them in any ways. I'm talking Fred is the name of the note taker. Fireflies is the platform. I'm not affiliated, no affiliate commissions, nothing. But I was pleased to see just this week that they really upped their integrations and their AI app connectivity. So as you can see here on the screen, we're looking at integrations. And as you can also see on the screen, there's quite a few. Now, what I was really tickled about in here is we talked about in one of the modules about ClickUp, which is a project management software. You can also see it integrates with Gmail and Dropbox and other very popular platforms, Google Drive, and it just goes on and on and on, HubSpot. So why is this important? Well, if you're transcribing meetings, now you can send either the summary, the transcription, or other pieces of the meeting directly to these platforms without having to create a third-party integration or to write any code, which is really cool. And then also what was really neat this week is that it really increased the app connectivity too. So now you can actually take a meeting that you had, maybe it was a sales call, and you can extract specific details from your sales call from the transcription and use many of these different integrations like you see here. There's everything from sales to marketing to HR, and the list goes on and on. You have education, engineering, customer success, healthcare, product management, productivity, and the list goes on and on. So the additional extended functionality of these note takers is growing by leaps and bounds. And if you think about the fact that you can have all the brains 100% present in a room because people are not focusing on taking notes, if it's a meeting that can be recorded without, it being trade secrets or it's not sensitive information, then just let everybody know and give them the opportunity, if they feel uncomfortable, to opt out of having the meeting recorded if they have, the ability to opt out. If it's if it's a organization, they decide to record the meeting, obviously the team members, it's not necessarily up to them, but that's a call at the organizational level. If you're having one-to-ones with people, always give them the chance to opt out of having the meeting recorded so it doesn't put them off or make them feel uncomfortable. So now let's take a look at what we're going to do with our meeting summary. So we copied our meeting summary from here, and we're going to take it over to ChatGPT, and I want to just show you what we did. Now, this is a medium duty prompt. It's not super intense. It's going to look intense because I copied the entire meeting summary over here, but it is not that intense of a prompt. I just basically asked ChatGPT, and I didn't choose ChatGPT for any specific reasons. It's just the one that came to mind. It's not like it's quote the best platform. It's just the one that came to mind that I use somewhat regularly. Could have easily done something similar in Claude and probably over in Gemini and some of the other platforms too. But what I did is I took our meeting summary and I asked it to create, some very specific things, a summary and a checklist of key pieces, provide links to key platforms, and also make suggestions about similar platforms that would be good to explore, and outline suggestions to deepen knowledge further on the topic. And then down here at the bottom, I threw in an additional request, which is create a daily checklist to encourage viewers, and that's you, to practice and implement AI in their daily workflows. And I just quoted the summarized text and any specific action items that were included. Now, if we go down here, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but you can see the power of what it did. It did the overview. It also talked about some specific things like prompt structures and stuff like that. We talked about tool demonstrations, and it specifically outlined the tools that we discussed in that bonus module. Overall GPT, the Claude 3.7. We talked about why Claude was more important. We also talked about the fact that there was a factual error in there, and that's key. Obviously we're going to have mistakes along the way. Nothing's perfect. Down here, it created a summary list of key takeaways. So when you're prompting, build a prompt that you can store somehow, whether it be a fillable PDF on a Google Sheet, on a Microsoft Word doc, however you want to store your high-level prompts that you're very pleased with that produce great results. You just copy that out of the AI platform by selecting it and copying it, paste it into one of those other areas, and then remove the information that can easily be replaced with other information so that prompt gets additional extended functionality. And I'm not going to go list item by list item here, but you can see the summary checklist on the screen. Another really cool thing is that it created links to the key platforms. And so you got overall GPT, Claude, Fireflies. We talked about all those things. And then if we move down here, you can see alternative tools worth exploring. So this is what ChatGPT identified, and there may be more to this list, but this is what it identified at the primary level. We could ask it to go deeper and identify additional tools if we wanted to. So always feel free to ask a follow-up question when you're working with one of these platforms. Suggestions to deepen knowledge. It put some specific suggestions for books and courses, communities, and blogs. I will say that I have seen some of Andrew Ng's work. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Pretty quality stuff if you're looking to extend your knowledge base. That's not a testimonial per se. I'm not being paid by Andrew. It's just I've seen some of his work. He does pretty good stuff. HubSpot is great. It's probably not my first choice for the platform as far as what they do is CRM and other pieces that it has on its platform, but their free resources that they offer to create relationships with potential clients or customers is extraordinary. They really give away some good high quality stuff. So you definitely want to check out HubSpot and maybe check out their academy for learning purposes. There's even Reddit threads. If you're familiar with Reddit, that's kind of like a place where everybody goes and talks about things. You can find stuff on marketing automation, and that's touching the tip of the iceberg. You can go find threads on AI and so on and so forth. This is just what ChatGPT did with our first pass, and I wanted to show you it's pretty darn good for a first pass. And then it created a fun daily AI practice checklist. And I'm going to copy and paste this and put it into the resources to go along with the modules for this course. And as you can see here, it gives you an idea. You could put this in your project management account or your workflow management account and go over this on a daily basis. And so it's pretty cool. And then down here, I actually asked it to create a presentation based on this and our previous bonus module and turn it into a 5-slide Gamma presentation. So you can see I asked it to, do it for copy and paste into Gamma. And specifically, you can see the slides that it put together. And I wasn't confident that it was doing exactly what I wanted it to do. I liked the content that it put together. I like how it summarized it, but I wasn't sure that it optimized it for Gamma. So you should always second guess your AI platform just to make sure that it's giving you its best suggestions and its best work. And so now it says currently no, and then it put in some specific slide breaks. And you can see I've copied this down here, okay, those 5 slides. And then we're gonna go over to Gamma, and you can see here we are. So you got the 5 slides. We talked about how to create presentations in Gamma before. This is just the copy and paste option. And you can see these 3 little dashes right here are the slide breaks that I wanted to make sure were in place. Now, if I were to render this presentation, you would see that it would create a presentation with 5 separate slides that have this content on it. And then finally, one last piece. This is pretty cool. So I talked about the integrations of Fireflies and Fireflies touching base with ClickUp and some of these other platforms and stuff. And as you can see right here, it actually pulled out some to-dos from the previous bonus module. And one of them was ensure integration, connectivity, and ClickUp with Fireflies. And so that was a discussion as part of the bonus module that it identified that I should make sure would be in place. And here it is, it's in place. So we're gonna check that off, and it disappeared because we got it right. And it worked just fine. And so I just wanted to kind of show you the multi-platform approach to AI so you can start putting together bigger workflows. And when it comes down to it, if you can prompt and get results, that's good. If you can prompt, get results, and then know what to do with those results to create even greater workflow productivity, that's even better. And the future, at least at this stage right now, is to consider automations and AI agents. And I'm not going to go into that today, but just know that you probably want to be studying up on that as your next set of knowledge base. And so automations are where like maybe emails go out or get responded to automatically that maybe you don't need to respond to personally. That's an automation. You can have AI that sits and oversees that, so it has guardrails that it can make decisions in real time on how to phrase or how to respond. That's all at your fingertips right now, but that's a little bit bigger than the scope of this module. And then AI agents are pretty cool because it's like having a digital copy of a certain professional. And so I'll give you an example of an AI agent. Imagine a research analyst, and you can think about the time that it takes to get good research for a research analyst. That's a paid position that a person goes and they research the internet and they research libraries and all the things, and then they pull the best information back. You can create an AI agent and tell it what you want it to go get, and it will decide based on the programming that you give it. I don't mean programming like writing code. I mean you tell it in a regular natural language, a prompt that you want. I want research on how to extend my consulting business on talent development and cultural dynamics. And I want to know what are the best strategies to extend a consultancy from a local level to a regional level, find examples of the best strategies that have been used in the past, identify, and that it will go out and pull research like that. Now, here's the thing. If you program your agent well, then that agent can work while you sleep, while you're at lunch, while you're doing other work. And what you can do is you can program it so it's basically making decisions on its own. Now you can put agents together and you can have agents talk back and forth to each other. So you can have a junior research analyst that pulls back the data, a senior research analyst that then goes, hey, that's good, let's keep these three pieces. And it's making decisions completely autonomously. And then it's telling the junior analyst to go out and grab three additional pieces that are completely unrelated to the original research. And then you might even have a manager agent that overlooks it all. And then when the information comes in, the manager goes, this is subpar work. This is not going to benefit our manager, who is the owner of the consultancy. So I want you to start over and find better results focusing on. And so that agent is making independent decisions of a person and is making sure that you get the best results based on how you've set up those agents. And so just imagine, instead of hiring a whole bunch of people and the complexity that goes along with that, that some of these roles can be done through AI agents. And so I would encourage you, if you're a small business owner or you're looking to get more time back in your day, that you study up on these, because agents are coming on strong. There's a lot of different platforms like agent.ai that you can go to and learn about them. And you can work with agents right now today without even having to know a line of code. And so I just wanted to kind of share, what is good is being able to prompt well and get results, whether it's creating a presentation, whether it's getting feedback from one of the just regular chat platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. That's the good. You're already off to a great start. Or a good start. In the middle is the better, where you're starting to kind of take those things and put them on multiple platforms. And then the future, where it's going to keep you ahead of the curve, is to think about how to automate some of these things, and also how to go the route of agents. And the neat thing is we're in a time right now where they're building what's called Model Context Protocol. It's not important that you know the term. What it is important to know is that this is a language that all of these different platforms are now using, or many of them are adopting it very quickly, because it allows the platforms to effortlessly talk back and forth to each other. That has been a huge issue in the past, and it has created high complexity and a lot of tangled webs to get things to talk to each other. Now they've got this model context protocol where it makes it easy for one platform to talk to another, which means that it's going to lubricate the wheels of motion for workflows so that you take information from one platform and you send it to the other platform effortlessly. It does it automatically, and then it sends it on to a third and a fourth platform, and then you have an agent or an automation overlooking that information and then sending it out to other platforms. So it means that you get to get more time back in your day for not doing lower value work. Instead, you can assign that to your AI friends. And the result is that it frees you up to focus on your 3 most valuable priorities, which are super critical as a professional or business owner. So hopefully you have had fun with this, and hopefully you're walking away with a few takeaways that can help you to fast track some of your workflows, get more time back in your day, get more profit and revenue into your organization, and assign some of those workflows to AI friends that can do some of that for you, and at the same time free you up to work on your most valuable priorities. So that's all for now. If you want to reach me, you can certainly find me on LinkedIn at Nicholas J. Saller. If you want to touch base and send me an email if you have a question or something like that, nsaller.ip@gmail.com. That's where you can find me, either on LinkedIn or Gmail. Really enjoyed working with you. Have a wonderful week ahead and take care. Bye-bye.